All right, good afternoon. You're welcome to your favorite radio program. The boys, I am also. Mr. Nuruddin, please, what is all this? How will the camera be coming to me and I'm already laughing out loud? Anyways, you don't want to know what I was saying behind the camera. That's for me to hear. But you're welcome to the show. It's good to be here again. And of course, I have Mr. Nuruddin Adigbero. He's in the studio. He's a lecturer, a senior journalist. Welcome to the show, sir.
Bloodlum. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, in Nigeria, that is how God created the world. Some people are going to be crying, and some people are going to be laughing. Onibungu LCDA came to mind this morning. A new vice chairman, the current vice chairman has been uplifted to be chairman.
Yeah. And
a new vice chairman is going to be sworn in today. And that is another journey in the council or two in that particular SCD. In the last 5 years, we told the man, you are going to be the vice chairman.
Because he would never believe.
So, and that is the story. We just need to calm down,
Take it one step at a time.
For us, we are going to get it.
Eventually, and that's very true. Congratulations to the incoming vice chancellor. We have Segun Shokwiton. He's a business and financial consultant. He's also the chairman of both Out Network. Welcome to the show, sir. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good to be back for 1 week.
Yeah, after a 1 week break. Oh Lord! Now you have removed the pain from the tea now for you because you are back
we're trying to remove the pain.
Okay, it's not well removed already.
No,
it's still. Why would we have?
When the price of electricity is still high, when food is still expensive, dear, when transportation is another thing, and when it's rain, especially when to enter board the commercial bus, I'm telling you, it's another thing.
It's double price of what it was before.
One thing there is that this period will also go away.
Yes, of course. It's just for it. Yes, this too shall pass. It's always like that. Okay, let's get talking about today's topic. The first one we're talking about is Obasanjo calls for sack of INEC chairman and its officials. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has called for the dismissal of the chairman of INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, and officials of the commission at all levels as part of a reform of the electoral process in Nigeria. Obasanjo made the call in a paper he presented at the Chinua Achebe's Leadership Forum, Yale University in the United States. In a speech, Obasanjo described the 2023 general election as a travesty, adding that the reform of the electoral system is a key agenda for the country. The former president also called for a shorter tenures for INEC officials and a more rigorous vetting process to prevent the appointment of partisan individuals. He argued that the INEC chairperson must only be absolutely above board, but must also be transparently independent and incorruptible. He also said the commission willfully failed to utilize two main technology tools at its disposal, which is the bimodal voter accreditation system, that BVAS, and the INEC election results viewing portal, which is the IREV, during the 2023 presidential election, despite the promise made by Yakubu for transparency. Anyways, sometimes when we call for sack and call for, how to put it, eviction or whatever, impeachment, sometimes people always say, some presidential leaders, former leaders, people have taken the front seat, have always said it is very difficult and almost impossible with the kind of democracy we have right now for anyone to be impeached or removed from office, except if like the cabals or the other hands are not in support of that. But what's your take about what Obasanjo said?
Without looking at the activities of ex-president Olusegun Matthew Okikiola Obasanjo, without looking at past, the kind of INEC chairman he also gave us during his own tenure, without looking at his own do or die affairs when he was the president, without looking at all those, without even looking at his performance as a president that ought to have given us structure that we are going to be building on today, without looking at it, I want to look at what he said. I could recall on this table when Professor Mahmood Yakubu was appointed. I said it, that I know Professor Mahmood Yakubu before he became INEC chairman. he was the head of tech fund at that particular time. I presented reports before him for a particular university, for that university to get a tech fund. I did not know anybody. I just, with my team, I led the team and we presented. I could recall University of Port Harcourt also presented at that particular time. Then Rotimi Amechi was the governor, and he told the governor, your university in your state will never collect tech fund because the one they've collected, they've not submitted how they spend it. And they gave it to us. Me, I did not know anybody. That was the first time meeting him. And he gave it to that institution that I represented. From that particular point of view, I held him in high esteem. So when he was appointed, I said, this man will be just because of the experience I had with him. Now, looking at the last election, politicians will do their things. Politicians will do their things. They are the one that will rig, they are the one that will for talk, they are the one that will involve in vote buying. That is politician. INEC will never involve in vote buying. But the grudges that made me to support President Obasanjo on him is because of two reasons. One, you told us before the election that every result will be uploaded on the high ref. We are going to be seeing it. In fact, that is the new brainchild, and that is what is going to stop rigging in Nigeria. You told us. A week before that election, some reports came out that they are not going to use IRF. It was debunked. Not just by a spokesperson, by him alone. He said IRF will be used until on that day of election, where IRF was stopped. And later they said they have technical glitches. After a lot of people have to ask questions in that particular manner, with that particular pose that's supposed to be a pose of unbiasedness, with that pedestal that he was at that time, he was bigger than the president of the country. And that particular agency is meant to be impartial. That is one grudge. Then the second one is this. With the reform we've had during President Muhammadu Buhari, you can call Buhari any name. The reform or electoral reform under him show us something. You can say he's a former military man. He's better than a lot of people calling themselves politicians that they've never wear khaki. How could somebody brought a result of an election where the result is more than the total number of registered voters in that place, and you accept it? You not say anybody that does not feel well, they should go to court. That on that two premises, I totally agree with President Olusegun Obasanjo. Secondly, I think we do work on the tenure of the INEC
officials.
INEC chairman in particular. We need to look at that tenure. We cannot import anybody to become INEC chairman. It's going to be Nigerian. And it's going to be brother of somebody knows somebody. But at least let us have a tenure. It shouldn't be for long tenure.
Period of time.
Then another thing again is this. The one that I said that must be above the board. How many people are above the board in Nigeria? Some people with money, they will change their surname. With money. They will be rich. Oh. You know that some people, they may not be rich, but they will not drop their standard. When you see some people, they will be rich. Another one again is that thinking somebody is a professor and is going to be more objective is a lie. You see the same professor that is sleeping is allowing students to sleep for marks. What we need is somebody to be objective. Somebody that will not be in politics. It's going to be apolitical. Somebody that will call a spade a spade. But how many do we have in
do we
Nigeria?
have in Nigeria?
That is
That's actually the sad truth, because like you already said, wherever they want to put is brought somebody to somebody and it's
from
connected.
one state now. It's from one geopolitical zone. It's from one ethnic. It's from one religion.
Okay, all right, Shegun, please, what's your take on what someone just said?
Well, I mean, he has a good point. The recent electoral outcomes in the last number of elections, starting from general elections last year up until now, shows that we have a big problem on our hands with. And I think it's important to note that without getting our electoral process right, we cannot have good governance. We can't have democracy that will result in good governance.
Yes.
So what we have is just civilian rule. We're not really practicing democracy because we cannot, with all confidence, beat our chest and say this government is government of the people, for the people, and
by the people.
You know, so the by the people part of it is a bit shaky because so I think that President Obasanjo has a point, but we must also not forget. I love the way President Obasanjo has become a doyen of wisdom. You know,
The man of the people.
You know,
The voice of the voiceless.
Are we going to say it comes with the age?
So, you know, because this man was president.
Yes.
And this man,
he was on that seat.
Abel Gubadia and Morris Iwu.
That one is even fear. But
Morris
Iwu
Iwu tried to a certain degree, even though he still delivered.
Yes, at least.
But Morris Iwu is the worst INEC chairman that we have had by a long mile in our entire history.
Where people write results.
It was a debacle. You know, that election was a joke. It was a sham. We didn't have an election, and it was under the same man, President Obasanjo. So for him to suddenly now remember that elections are necessary, we need to replace INEC chairman, you know, and all that, it's a bit hypocritical of him. He reeks of hypocrisy every time he speaks. With all due respect to him, he's our elder statesman, he's our daddy. But daddy speaks with hypocrisy a lot, and daddy needs to be told that daddy should keep quiet a bit. Just go and enjoy your retirement. Go home and keep quiet, because you have no moral right or moral grounds or moral basis
based on history
and preaching that he preaches. However, having said that, I think, in fact, in my organization, in ACT Network, we're currently in the process now of developing a private bill that we hope to push to the National Assembly, to suggest how to get independence for INEC, true independence. I know another group that I'm also associated with, led by Professor Otobi, who is also talking about that, talking about a new independent INEC. What is going to guarantee the independence? There are two things. There's administrative independence and there's financial independence. So the financial part of it, to a certain degree, you know, because their budget is not a first-line charge. Once the National Assembly approves it, and that's about that. But you see, as long as the president appoints the INEC chairman, then we cannot have an independent. It's going to be a problem. INEC. He's going to have a meeting with his boss, who is the person that appointed him. And if the man says, do it like this, he will just say, under the law, he said, find a way. And he will say, yes, sir. And that's what we saw happen last year. They found a way to thwart, you know, before that, I came on air, on this platform, on every other platform, to assure Nigerians. In private, personal conversations, I spoke very passionately that don't worry, this election will be different.
It will be different.
Why? Because of believers and because of IREV. And then INEC by themselves found to thwart those two brilliant provisions that they made to ensure the transparency of the process. So all of a sudden, in the same election where I will thumbprint 3 ballot papers and put them in the box at the same time, and those ballot papers will be uploaded at the same time at that same election, 2 were uploaded. House of Reps and Senate election
was uploaded
successfully. The presidential elections were not uploaded until months after the election. Are we joking? So that was clearly something that INEC did. So INEC needs independence. We need to appoint somebody who is upstanding, exists. I don't believe that Nigerians are bad people. I've never been a part of that school of thought. Nigerians are fantastic people. We're just like any normal group of human beings on the surface of the earth. We just need processes that will be respected. We need consequence for behavior. We need to stamp out the culture of impunity. You know, once we do, you'll find Nigerians will do brilliantly well. They're doing brilliantly abroad. Why can't they do brilliantly at home?
At home.
So let us find a process that will insulate INEC and especially the INEC chairman from political interference from the National Assembly and from the presidency. If we're able to do that, then we can surmount these problems that the former president
is actually pointing out.
You know, that is actually pointing at. You know, so the conversation continues. We, on our part, are going to send it to the National Assembly to propose ways to achieve that independence. One of the more provisions of the law must be that he must not be appointed by the president.
By the president.
So the structure and mechanism for appointing the INEC chairman, we're still talking about it because, you know, it has to be foolproof. So there's a lot of things that has to be involved to come up with something that is workable, given our local peculiarities and our context as a country. So once that is done, you know.
Okay, that's actually amazing. I actually like this, and I really want to get an update on what your organization or group. You know, it will be very naive, like you said, independency outside of the president.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing in addition is this: in the provision in our reform of the electoral law, another thing that we need to have to it is this: if somebody is in charge of a ward or LGA during election and you are a member of INEC and there was sabotage, electoral fraud under your nose or under your supervision, you are meant to face the wrath of the law.
Right.
That you are involved. If you are not involved, no problem. How could you, as an INEC commissioner in a state, you return an election, the number of all the people that voted is more than the number of registered voters in that particular state?
You're a criminal.
Are you not a criminal?
That's simple.
Or look at the barrister in Adamawa that they said the election is inconclusive. You took yourself. You are not the returning officer. You are not the INEC commissioner in that state. You are not the one that will return the vote. You took DSS. You took police beside you. You are now declaring somebody winner often without even giving the total number of votes. The number of this is the same country. Is it not in this the same country where somebody is a cousin of another politician and you are INEC commissioner, and those who in that state are saying this person is a cousin of, why is it going to take INEC to change that particular person?
Yeah.
This last one also, where they are saying somebody is INEC commissioner that has lived in a particular state, we didn't trust him. When you have series of commissioners that you can change, in order to make sure that we have a picture that it is fair and free. So that one also, because if the consequences goes a long way, and that's one of the things we don't have in Nigeria. If you do something, you notice what is going to happen. If you do something, look at Donald Trump. Upon that public figure, he was meant to go and face the law. And that is the kind of thing we want to do in our electoral process. Any politician found one thing, maybe the act of vote buying, arrest the person, prosecute him.
In fact, let me just add this one, because President Tinubu has actually said, told the PDP and other places to go to court if they don't want Aiyedatiwa to retain it. What's your take on that?
Well, he said the obvious. That is what the Constitution says. He said the obvious. But the thing is that, how come that the same president did not tell Wike and other people that are fomenting trouble in River State from Shialo, instead of calling them, now draw a list of what they can do for settlement? He cannot tell Wike at particular time, you are not a governor. If you have any problem with your governor, go to court. You understand now? By a situation, go to court. I love that go to court, but that go to court should be used in all ramifications.
And not in some...
If you slap me, and we have to call the president, the president to Blossom slap me, what my president should tell me is that Nuruddin, go to court. If I slap Blossom and you now go and report to the president, you should be able to tell you Blossom, go to court. That go to court should be in all ramifications, not only on this. But to be fair, if you are not satisfied with an election, go to court. The way politicians are turned court to, the politicians that are in opposition, they should go and face it too. Because when they are also in the ruling party, that is the same way they tell people to go to court. They should also go to court.
Okay, all right. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, the president is right.
Okay.
Anybody that is not happy should go to court. Unfortunately, our judiciary has left us in a place where there's no confidence in what the court will do anyway. You just never can tell.
Yes.
So it's the same judiciary that the person that came forth in an election.
To now become the government.
So, going to court, yeah, it's okay. Let's go to court, but let's hope that the court will actually do justice and set things straight. But, more crucially, I think the president, you said something earlier, Mr. Igbenro, and I think it's important for us to remember. President Muhammad Buhari, we have vilified him, we have demonized him a lot. But the truth of the matter is that as we are moving forward in time, we're seeing his legacy, and we're beginning to realize, well, maybe this guy wasn't as horrible as we were saying. One of his legacies is he electronified our elections. Under him, he appointed Jega. And Jega, for me, till today, has been our best INEC chairman. He delivered elections that you can claim has the greatest semblance of credibility beyond 1993 elections, right? So, President Tinubu needs to think about that legacy. Find a way to ensure that the courts have no say, that they will not be necessary. The people keep saying go to court is that travesty is obvious.
Yeah.
Everybody can see.
They can see it. Yeah.
It's a sham.
You cheat, go to court.
You now say go to court. President Tinubu should commit himself the way President Umar Yar'Adua.
Yeah.
That guy spent just a year plus as president, but
and his legacy is still.
He said some things that were still quoted. One of the greatest things that I remember him saying that I love so much was that he was going to be a servant leader, that he would lead as servant, and he demonstrated it. The second thing was him admitting that the one that produced him was flawed.
Whoa!
And he would do something.
He then created the process to Buhari's appointing Jega and the elections that then followed 2015, 2019, and all of that. Now, President Tinubu needs to find a way to insulate the electoral process, ensure that it is credible, it is free, fair, use technology as greatly as possible. Look, the kind of things that are achieved with technology today is mind-blowing. You can ensure that that process is credible. The way we have in other parts of the world. What is President Tinubu doing about that? Instead of advising people to just go to court, they say our current INEC chairman just looked people in the face while people were complaining about clear and obvious problems with the electoral process.
Now, just
with a very calm expression on his face, go to court. Like, you can do whatever you
want to do.
I'm going to finish this process. That's not the kind of go to court you want to hear. You want to hear go to court that it is because every other avenue that should prevent the need for judiciary to step in has been exhausted, and we're nowhere near it. So I want to call on the president to leave his name in gold and find a way to reform the electoral process. Ensure that INEC must stick to its own regulations, because the elections draw their power from the Electoral Act, which draws its power from the Constitution. Those are the kind of things I want to see from President Tinubu, not him just preaching and saying go to court.
Okay, very quickly, still talking about politics, I want us to talk about Chief James Owodi, who advised Peter Obi to join, instead of standing alone with the Labour Party, to actually join the PDP to be able to run for elections in 2027. A lot of people actually have been saying that. Even we had Femi Chacha yesterday, and he also said a lot of politicking has actually been happening against 2027 elections, and a lot of these parties are not even seeing, they're not seeing it, that 2027, if not careful, is already a one and done election. So, but now we have Chief saying that he has to switch parties if he really wants to, be part of 2027 elections. With the fact that Labour Party right now is not as loud as it was in 2023, so if he has to go to a stronger party. But what's your take, very quickly?
Politically speaking,
politicians
have started their own calculation. Not even he doesn't even need to say it, because I can't tell you, politically speaking now, if Peter Obi is going to run for president in the next general election, it's not going to be under Labour Party. Put that one inside your bank. If he's going to run to be president of Nigeria, not under Labour Party. Put one in the pocket. Number one. Number two, what calculations going on? Because for analysts, we don't want one party state. There is no country that is run by one party that does not turn to oligarchy or does not turn to authoritarian government. There is no country.
That's true.
So, and when you see that the government is totalitarian or totalitarian, is near to fascism, and when it's near to fascism, it's the backyard of militocracy. So, analysts are not looking up to that. Then what are the options? What is happening to opposition? I know they are talking, but they need to now be making their talking to be feasible. Anybody that wins not consign us, but we want Nigerians to have options.
Yeah, it should be just one.
So
party.
with that now, I know Labour Party, part of Labour Party, let me say engine room of Labour Party, because Labour Party is in caucus now. There are two phenomenons in Labour Party. Number one is Peter Obi. Labour Party is no different from YPP. In fact, YPP is better than Labour Party or Peter Obi. So Peter Obi carries 80%. It remains 20, Abi. Labour Union, TUC, NSC, they're taking 19. It remains 1, Abi. That belongs to the current executive of Labour Party. You remember that when you remove that 80 plus 19, 99, Abi, now one remain, no? Because the only governor that they have in Aiyedatiwa has moved his political gigantism into Senate Labour Party. It speaks of things. And Aiyedatiwa is very close to Obi, and that is the thing. So with that now, there are a lot of calculation going on. I know NNPP is also in the midst. There are some other parties. In fact, APP is also in the midst. So there are, some things is going to happen because at this particular times, even Nigerians, for Nigerians' sake, there must not be one party. If you have a party and Nigerians are not okay with that party, they should be able to choose. And that is the thing. For anybody that is thinking Nigeria is going to be a one-party state, it's not going to be possible. Even when PDP was so powerful in Nigeria, where do or die affairs is still part of it. At the part of the day, you still have a situation one way or the other, from A to AC, from AC, ACN, APC coming to being, MPDP, APP, ABGA. When they come together at every particular time, we know what happened between MPN and UPN too. There is no way that you are going to have, as long as Nigeria is one party state. If anybody is thinking in that particular direction, especially with the hardship on the ground, I'm telling you. And one thing again that we need to be very careful of, they are opposition without parties. That is the poor Nigerians. They are opposition without party. What they just wait for during the election, they clinch. The way they clinch to Labour Party at that particular time, there is nothing in Labour Party, I'm telling you. It's because of Peter Obi. Where some people think that, no, this man, we can vote, and that's why we switch. It's even go beyond imagination of Peter Obi. What is the total number of votes that Peter Obi had when he was governor in another state? Compared to... No. So, and that is the thing. The other thing, for people that can think politically, I'm not talking about sentiment now. What is the total number of votes accrued to the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu? What is the total number of votes accrued to the second, Atiku Abubakar? What is the total number of votes accrued to the Labour Party or Peter Obi? When you look at that calculation, you should be able to tell you something. Any merger that exists with a robust campaign, with the hardship on ground, there's going to be a serious battle in 2007.
Okay, Mr. Shego.
I mean, it's something that for Peter Obi to think about. In fact, it's getting late. It's getting late.
Because next year is already 25.
Next year is 2025. From 2026, governance stops.
Yeah.
Campaigns begin. and the alignment would have fully crystallized. Alignment that you have not at least initiated by 2024 and complete by 2025. You cannot use it to win election in 2027. So if you look at, let's start with Labour Party. And again, I'm privileged. I have information, inside information, and I can tell you it's a huge joke what's going on in there. They're no better than the people that we like to see ourselves as independent minded, objective. We just want the best for the country. And we say APC and PDP, they are evil twins. They are the same thing. They are terrible. Please add Labour Party to that mix.
Wow.
So they are triplets. APC, PDP, Labour Party, evil twins.
All the same.
They are all the same. No difference. Different from the obedient movement, which is a group of young people of different races, even though it's dominated by the Igbo people.
That are ready to vent their anger.
Yes, angry people. So you have to differentiate the Labour Party from the phenomenon of the Peter Obi, the personality of Peter Obi. Now, if you take that out of Labour Party, shove Labour Party into the dustbin, with all due respect, Abure is a joker. He's not a serious human being. How many votes did the Labour Party get in this Ondo election? 1,400.
Yeah, they tried.
1,400. They came a distant fifth. In the previous election, the one in Edo, 2,000. That one did well. The election, 2,000 votes. Labour Party is not a party, right? So the person talking to Peter Obi is looking at that and presenting those facts to him. Is either you stay in the party and take full control. Take control of that structure. And
when the court has said otherwise,
well, that's the problem. So if he's unable to do because some forces are frustrating that platform, he has to making alignments. Now, himself and Kwakwanso have been talking. There's something you said earlier again. In this last election, the current president, supposedly, because that election, in my personal opinion, does not reflect what actually happened. But let's even take those numbers, right? This president got 8 million votes. The combination of Peter Obi, Atiku, and Kwakwanso got 13 million. So if those three come together, even based on numbers from INEC that people disputed, is a landslide victory for them. How can they join forces between now and 2027, working with the very unfavorable situation on ground to move the masses and take control? That's the question they need to ask themselves. And I think that is possible. However, the challenge personally with that is you then have to start compromising on hardline ideological posture that the two parties are vehicles for people for state capture. Now you have to start thinking maybe somebody who has some measure of good intention and who has demonstrated that good intention in public office in the past, because that's what it is. I don't care all the political nonsense that people say. Statistics and facts are there. But the problem in Nigeria, as we can see now, is profligacy of the politicians. It's the fact that they love wastage. They just love to love and just enjoy themselves.
That's just to drink garri.
People drink garri. We have evidence that Peter Obi is not like, is a fact on ground. So we can say, well, if Peter Obi comes forward and he can solve Nigeria's problem by just being frugal, just by being frugal alone, stingy by being stingy. If he can come on board and be stingy, right, and by cutting waste around himself, by removing all the motorcade, those things, those presidential jets, removing them. You see, governors will follow suit. Then local government will follow suit.
They won't have a choice, actually.
The Senate and National Assembly will follow suit. Then business leaders will follow suit because it comes with leadership. It starts from the top and flows down to the bottom. So if we assume that Peter Obi is that person that can do that, are we now going to begin to say, well, WC and PDP are evil twins? But for now, let us manage evil twins and get in power. That's what people who really want to see the good of Nigeria, we have to prompt themselves with. You have to see that maybe an alignment of Peter Obi Akwaso, Peter Obi for president, Kwakwaso for vice, that is already a combined. Peter Obi got 6 points, Kwakwaso got 1.4 million or so. That's already about 7 million votes. By the time you now add that to the people, the PDP
yeah.
who knows? Maybe those are the calculations that need to happen. So the person saying Peter Obi should join PDP, I can't fault them. I think we're at a time to just look for where can the solution come from.
We just need the solution.
From one of the evil twins. People just take them like
I'm telling you, we just need the solution.
Another thing again is this. Another calculation is this. If people think under this current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that Nigerians are suffering, that things are hard. After the election, his party has continued to capture the state that does not even belong to them and retaining the state that his party is controlling. And in politics, the number of states that you have determines
the outcome of your.
Although
the federal election.
Past election has told us that at times
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
True.
Because when APC was 2015, how many states they have?
More, yeah.
But one thing there is this: with the way that is going, it's very hard, because that is another calculation for any party, either by conglomerate, whatever, merger acquisition, can really ousted this current leading party in Nigeria, because now the type of election we are having before is different from now. The template is different. If you think Nigerians are suffering and there is vote buying in every state election that has been done, at least 3 on a roll, and some people are collecting money to vote, what assurance you have that by that time, when it's going to be another general election where every politician will bring out money for vote buying,
suffering may have doubled,
that they will not collect money and vote. Then another thing again is this: every politician is a potential rigger in Nigeria. The way they different, but there is something that unites every one of them. Vote buying and come to stay in Nigerian politics. That's why you will see there is nobody. If you can number of people that will go out and vote without any inducement, that was what the reason why. So if you see people really talking about Peter Obi in the last election as if he's the one that won the election, what they are looking at is this: you see many people that have never seen him gone out without being in news. What happened in Lagos State? So that's what people. How many are we going to future that will go out and vote without being in news? One elderly man in Ondo tell journalists. He told journalists that I will vote because they said they are giving money and I'm hungry.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know the style from the stomach infrastructure in the state at that time, during the time of Ayoshe, Dibokose, vote and cook soup. That soup may not last 24 hours, but you suffer for another 4 years. It has been part of our politics. Dibokose, who is going to remove that vote buying? And that is another calculation that people are looking at. It's going to be a tall order to remove APC with what is on ground.
What is on ground? Oh Lord. Well, like this is a great analysis, just the same thing as what Fem Chacha said. And really, if we need to get results, like you both and Chief James actually said, we need to come together. And like it's either we take one of the evil twin, but at least one is going to.
Don't let us deceive ourselves.
Yes.
All the politicians, in the name given to Babangida, they are all evil geniuses. I'm telling you.
They know what
all politicians. All politicians.
They know what you're doing.
Just imagine if Abure is the national chairman of PDP. Is he going to behave differently? That is to tell you. But the only just thing there is that we want a situation that I always tell people. Another thing we need to put in our electoral is that if you are going to be a governor, you are going to be a president, you represent people, you must talk to the people before it's very, very clear, it's very, very important.
One of the reforms that we also need to put in this issue of whether he should join PDP or not. Another option available to Peter Obi, and I was very vocal this during the election.
Independent president.
He can run independently. He can run independently.
No, he can run, but they will
independently. If he had run independently, and the elections had been reflection of
yeah.
So we need to provide independence candidacy in our constitution and electoral law, so that we can break free from this having to choose
between which parties.
We have to mature. So now, if we do that, and we now say, so we are now confronted with the next question: how will government, as an independent candidate, when the National Assembly will be composed mainly politicians from the other parties? That's where the issue comes in. If you run independently and win an election, it means that you are among people genuinely, and if you have the backing of the people, you have what you need to run any country.
For
me, I think just as an
time.
Look, independent presidency. If the way our politics has been structured in Nigeria,
it can't work.
It can't.
Okay.
If people wait, do you know that election is won in 3 votes on the day of election? Not the votes.
Of course, yes, true.
Number one, before all those people that will be working with INEC, that one is one. Two is those people that are going to man the units. Look, if you know the role of party, go and ask Alex Oti how he won his governorship seat.
My brother.
If you run independently,
sorry, Blossom, I know you are trying to close it. Let me tell you, the result Peter Obi achieved in 2023 was not the result of the Labour Party. It was the result of Peter Obi and the people that are behind him.
I agree.
And those people can coalesce behind one person. If that person is running, let's not make it sound as if the parties are
no, actually,
look, go and see the way the number of votes that he got in. It will only where it is popular. Look, I'm coming. Look, go and see his result from Borno down to Niger State. If you want to be a president, independent presidency, it must be unanimous.
Of course.
But one thing there is, how many politicians in Nigeria that with our ethnic bias, religious bias, that will be generally acceptable. Even if they know this person is the Messiah God has given us. It's going to be very difficult.
It's about bridge building, it's about consensus building, it's about working with time.
That is the reason why you need party.
You don't need party for that. You need people. You need a structure. That structure does not have to be a political. Democracy needs to mature to that level.
To that level, okay.
We don't tie people down.
It's not
it has to be
because the people in Nigeria, they belong to party.
There must be change.
And they are not ready to live where they are eating.
Okay, I think he wants a change to that. This is the narrative right now. But he wants a new narrative. Yeah.
Let us at least put it in our law. And let us start testing it.
Those people that belong in party politics, they are the ones that and they won't put it.
We will force them. That's why we're here. That's why we're having this conversation. You have to
okay, all right. We can't take any more topic. I wanted to really take this one where we had Enugu Chairman Airport Special Assistant on Pepe Ganya.
Why people are shouting on particular man? You leave this man alone. Look, it's because he put bracket of what he put. Special assistant
on agriculture.
Senior special assistant on agriculture.
Yeah.
He puts everywhere.
But why did he put that?
Maybe the reason why he put it is this because of two reasons.
Very quickly, I'll talk this up.
That particular local government have span of.
Yeah, they do. They have more production.
And because of that, he wants a situation with one special assistant because to coordinate that, where they will be able to feed the man with the pepper and the egg.
Well, you should have put it, please. It doesn't even
lack of sophistication. His intention was not bad.
Yes.
People that specialize in specific crops.
Yes, of course.
Just special assistant on agriculture. Which one? Another thing again is that when you see some letters that is coming from different local government in Nigeria.
You'll be marveled.
With the choice of what?
You'll be
With the
marveled.
construction of sentences, you want to wonder that
Did they
to the
get
local
there?
government, whether it goes to school or
What
not.
is it doing?
Okay, we have to wrap up the show. I was supposed to show a viral video of soldiers guarding farmers in the northern region of the country while they to their farm, but I can't show the video because it's already.
No,
I
Nigeria is already working on the. I'm telling you, it went viral,
Yeah.
and they are winning on it.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring those. I trust Nigeria Army. They will bring them out.
And that's what we have been calling for.
That's what we're calling for.
Security, so that
for they can farm and break. Yeah.
can go down.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Kudos to them.
what they are doing now, but it's just that how many farmers are going to
How
go?
the person.
We have few farmers even on that farm. But anyways, that is all we can take for today. Thank you so much, Nuruddin, for coming on the show. Amazing one. Thank you so much, Shekito, for coming. Analysis, I must say, even though Mr. Nuruddin doesn't want to agree with the independent, we can always agree to disagree and to agree. Anyways, that's it on the buzz today. My name is Tris Blossom. Do have a fabulous day for yourself. Bye for now.